How are you all? Welcome to my channel. Once again, I brought my video with the lesson The Making of the Indian Constitution. We'll see few answers from this lesson, children. The first question here is the main features of the Indian Constitution. They are written constitution, rigid and flexible constitution, parliamentary type of democracy, single citizenship, unitary and federal constitution. These are the main features of Indian Constitution. Let's see what it means. Written Constitution. Indian Constitution is not an oral one. It is a written constitution by the Constituent Assembly, in which everything is written. Provisions regarding the functions and powers of the government, rights and roles of the citizens, and also provisions for the establishment of future society. And the second one we'll see rigid and flexible constitution. Our constitution is rigid one, as frequent amendments cannot be made in the constitution. But it is also flexible. Amendments can be made with the approval of two-thirds majority in the parliament. So our constitution is both rigid and flexible. Then we'll have parliamentary type of democracy. Our Indian constitution has adopted parliamentary type of democracy where people are elected to the parliament. That is, the leaders or representatives are elected by the people to the parliament. So that is parliamentary type of democracy. Single citizenship. We do not have any two kinds of citizenship. We have only single citizenship. That is Indian citizenship. Wherever you reside in any region, in any state, but you are considered as single citizen. For example, you are residing in Gujarat. You are not considered as Gujarat citizenship. You are considered as Indian citizen only. We do not have any dual citizen to say one is from the state and one is from our country. It is not. Only single citizenship. Wherever you reside within the country, any region, any state, but you are considered as single citizen. So you have single citizenship. That is Indian citizen. Another unique feature of Indian Constitution is unitary as well as federal. Unitary, that is the central government, union government. More powers are with union government. When we say that is unitary government, union of states. India is called a union of states. India do not have a particular identity, right? It has identity, right, with union of states becomes India. That is unitary, central government. And federal constitution. Federal, along with the center, even states exist side by side. That is federal constitution. That is dual polity. Central government as well as the state government. That is, right, features of Indian Constitution. Now second we'll see, right, the features of federal system. Here I have seen the first question, main features of the Indian Constitution. But the second question is features of federal system, federalism, where both are here, central and the state government. Always. Federal means both, you have to remember. Unitary means only central government. Federal means both center and the state existing side by side. Both has their own powers. Now we'll see features of federal system. Dual polity. Polity is nothing but, right, the forms of government. System of government. Dual polity. That is central government as well as the state government. Next is separation of powers. Each one has assigned with their own subjects on which they have sovereign powers to take any decision on it. That is Powers were being separated between center and the state. And the next question we'll see. Our constitution has many provisions facilitating social change. What are those provisions? Or otherwise, constitutional engineering. Engineering means some mechanism will be done, children, to repair it some vehicle, right? Or whatever it is there. Repairing, we can say engineering. Like that, repairing the society, the provisions which has given are written to bring a social change in the society. Now, we'll see here, right? Since ancient times, lot of injustice was being done to the downtrodden people, scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, in order to bring them in equal with the others in the society. These provisions were being and to bring a social change, or constitutional engineering. First is abolition of untouchability. Any sort of untouchability is a crime and it can be punishable. Nobody should practice untouchability. That is abolition of untouchability. If anybody is practicing untouchability, it is a crime and punishable. Second one we will see. Since ancient times, those SCs and STs were not given proper treatment. Injustice was being done to them. In order to uplift them in the society, these weaker sections, reservations were brought in educational institutions, employment and legislature. Seats were reserved in the educational institutions. Seats were reserved for government employment and seats were reserved in legislature also. They were given seats in this, three: educational, employment and legislature. Three fields also, children. Next we'll see directive principles of state policy. What are the directive principles which are not enforceable by law, but it is the duty of the government to see the welfare of the people, like to see people are living with dignity, people have adequate means of livelihood, supporting the autonomous associations like cooperative societies, giving pensions to the age old. So, taking care of the people economically, socially, that is the directive principle. It is not enforceable by law, but the responsibility of the state to see welfare of the people. That was directive principles of state polity. Fundamental rights are enforceable by the country subject to specific restrictions. Fundamental rights are fundamentally applicable to all the people. It is enforceable by law. If anybody violates, they can go to the court and sue them. If anybody is not getting their right, they can get the right through law. Liberty, equality, justice. Liberty of thought, expression, speech, forming of association. This liberty is given. Freedom of speech. Everybody can express freely without any fear. Freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom of speech. Equality. To live the life of dignity. Equality along with the others. Equal opportunity in employment, equal opportunity in education, and to live a dignity and respectful life in the society. Justice, economically, politically, and socially, children. Everybody are equal in the eyes of law. That is the rule of law. Then, just to protect the minorities, because the leaders, the constitution makers has seen the horrible scene of killing the Jews in the Germany, persecuted the Jewish minority people in the Germany by Hitler. That is by seeing that they have given these provisions, right to run religious minorities, right, educational institution, to run their own educational institution. Such institutions may earn or receive government fund. For example, children, minority, for example, will take in Telangana. Some of the Karnataka people will come in Telangana and settle here. They feel that their language and culture has to be protected, or else it will not be there. So they have each and every right to establish their educational institutions, children. Government will give fund also. That was about, right? Our constitution has many provisions facilitating social change in order to bring equally all the people in the society. This social facilitating social change. Some provisions were given. Next we'll see what are the two principal forms of constitution. Two principal forms of constitution are unitary constitution and federal constitution. Name some significant contributors to the Indian Constitution. Some significant contributors are Rajendra Prasad, Acharya Kripalani, Pandit Nehru, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Some of the constitution makers, children. And here when I said unitary constitution, central government, federal constitution, along with central government, states are also existing, state government. That was about the children. Next we will see. Next question. What are the characteristics of unitary constitution? The supremacy of the central polity and the absence of subsidiary sovereign polities. When we say unitary constitution, there is only the central government. There won't be any state government. Total powers are vested with central government. More powers are with the central government. When we say unitary constitution, characteristics. Now we'll come for what are the characteristics of federal constitution. By the existence of a central polity and subsidiary polities side by side, and by each being sovereign in the fields assigned to it. Yes, children. Now, existence of central polity. Federal means federal constitution. Central government as well as state government exist together. For them some subjects are given. Right. So everybody in both of them has sovereign powers over their subject. For example, subjects means here central government has the power to make laws on the army, complete powers over the army, and state government can have powers over to make laws about police, hospitals, etc., etc. Like that, those are called as subjects still. Both can make laws. Federal constitution. Only central government can make laws, unitary constitution. Next we'll see what are the basic ideals of Indian constitution. Very important for 3 marks question, children, as reflected in preamble. Justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. Justice. Every citizen will have social, economic and political justice. Political right to vote, economic right to work, and social right to life, children. Justice everybody has. And liberty. Every citizen will have the liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. Equality. Every citizen will be provided with the equality of status and of opportunity. Equality of status and opportunity. For example, children, in employment, competitive exams are being conducted. Who excel in that exam, they are going to get the job opportunity in government employment. that is equality of status and opportunity, fraternity. Citizens of India have been assured about the dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. Children, that was about the ideals of the Indian Constitution. We'll see one essay answer. Children, write a short note on basic principles of Indian Constitution. The basic principles of Indian Constitution are sovereignty. What do you mean by sovereignty? India is a sovereign democratic republic. The Indian people has sovereign or supreme powers. Sovereignty is nothing but supreme power. India's power, supreme power, vests with Indian people only, with India only. No other country has any powers to come and interfere in Indian internal affairs. India can tackle its whole internal affairs, children. No other country has power to interfere in India. That is, supreme power vests with India only. Fundamental rights. Indian Constitution provides basic fundamental right to all its citizens without any discrimination. Everybody equally given fundamental rights. There is no caste discrimination, there is no color discrimination, there is no status discrimination. Everybody has equal rights on these fundamental rights, children. Everybody has their own fundamental rights applicable to all. Right to religion, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies, right to equality. These 6 rights were applicable to all equally without any discrimination. Directive principles of state policy. These are the guidelines to frame laws, right? These are not enforceable by the court but work for the welfare of the people. Like I said, it is being formed for the welfare of the people. It's government responsibility to see for the welfare of the people. Take care of adequate means of livelihood to the people. Next we'll see. Cabinet government or parliament type of government. Prime Minister is the head to aid and advise the president, who shall, in the existence of his functions, act as accordance with such advice. So we have cabinet government, that is, the people elect, the majority party forms the government. The majority party leader and the council of ministers form the cabinet government. They advise the president. President will not go against their advice. Not, he has to follow the advice of the cabinet government. Secularism, freedom of religion. Secularism is the basic structure of Indian Constitution. The government respects all religion. It does not uplift or degrade any particular religion. Everybody has right to follow their own God, faith and worship in their own God, can follow their own religion. That is secularism. Unique, right, principles of Constitution. Socialism. The word socialism was added to the preamble by the 42nd Amendment. Here state owns everything and see for the welfare of the people. Federalism. Constitution provides a federal structure. Powers are specifically divided between center and state government. Independent judiciary. India has independent and integrated judiciary. The highest judiciary in the country is Supreme Court. All other courts in the country has to follow the Supreme Court. They are subordinates to the Supreme Court. We have independent and integrated. All high courts are integrated to the Supreme Court. So that's how we have independent as well as integrated judiciary. In this, judiciary is separate organ, autonomous organ, because government powers are divided between the three organs: executive, legislature, and judiciary. They are not related to each other. They are separate, independent. Yes, children, those are the basic principles of the Constitution. Next, we will see what are the characteristics of unitary Constitution. Just now I have said this, I think so. Right? We'll see next, children. Okay, children. Now I'll stop this video, and the next video I'll bring the other question answers for you.